Hello students, today you will be learning about the different reference books and the parts of a book. You will view a short video and an activity will follow. Please pay attention to the video. Objective: students will be able to identify different reference books and the parts of a book. Here are the Georgia Performance Standards for 3rd grade students. Here are the Georgia Performance Standards for 4th grade students. Here are the Georgia Performance Standards for 5th grade students. Reference resources presented to you by Mr. Brian Ashley. A dictionary is a reference book containing an alphabetical list of words with information about them. Here's an example of a dictionary. A thesaurus is a book containing a classified list of synonyms and sometimes antonyms. Here's an example of a thesaurus. An almanac is an annual publication indicating weather forecasts and other miscellaneous information arranged according to the calendar of a given year. It is also an annual publication containing tabular information in a particular field or fields arranged according to the calendar of a given year. In other words, almanacs contain statistical information on a wide range of topics. Here's an example of an almanac, and if you read the Guinness World Book of Records, that is also considered an almanac as well. An atlas is a collection of maps in book form. Here's an example of an atlas. An index is an alphabetical listing of names and topics along with page numbers where they are discussed in a book. Here's an example of an index. A table of contents tells you where the title of each chapter of the book is located. It is in the front of the book. A table of contents in a magazine tells you the names of the articles or stories in the magazine. Here we have an example of a table of contents. An appendix is a supplementary material that is collected and appended at the back of a book. When there are 2 or more appendices in a book, they are numbered like chapters, Appendix 1, Appendix 2, etc., or they are designated by letters, Appendix A, Appendix B. Appendices are usually titled. Here we have an example of an appendix which is located in the back of a science book. Glossary is a list of definitions of technical terms belonging to a specific field. Sometimes glossary includes pictures. Here we have an example of a glossary. Thanks for your support, and I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. Thank you once again.
Knowing the parts of a book can help you figure out where to look for information. The parts of a book include the table of contents, the index, and the glossary. The table of contents is located in the front of the book, and it lists the chapter titles. Books often have an index in the back of the book that you can look through to find specific information. Sometimes there is a glossary located in the back of the book that provides the definitions of words used in the book. Let's watch a story about Thomas Jefferson. Then we'll talk about how you might find more information in the different parts of a book. Thomas Jefferson was the 3rd president of the United States. He was born in 1743. He graduated in 1762 from the College of William and Mary in Virginia. After college, he studied law and worked as a lawyer. He later held a number of different positions in government. In addition to being president, he was a scientist, an architect, a philosopher, and a writer. Jefferson was an agriculturalist, which means that he grew food. Jefferson is the first known American to grow tomatoes in the United States. He helped introduce the tomato as an edible vegetable to America. Jefferson was also an architect. He designed his dome-shaped home at Monticello in Virginia, as well as several other buildings. His style of architecture influenced the architects who designed the buildings in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Let's take a closer look at the story about Thomas Jefferson and how to use the different parts of a book. The table of contents is located in the front of the book. It lists the chapter titles in the book. Look at the chapter titles in this book. Each chapter talks about a different aspect of Thomas Jefferson's life. The index is located at the end of a book. An index is a list of words along with the page numbers on which those words can be found. Some listings have many page numbers or whole chapters devoted to a subject. Others are mentioned only a few times. The glossary is the list in the back of the book that gives the definitions of words or terms used in that book. Not every word in the book will be defined in the glossary, so you may still need a dictionary. Let's look up the word architecture in the different parts of this book. In what section would you find the definition or meaning of the word architecture? The table of contents, the index, or the glossary? You would find the meaning of the word architecture in the glossary. The glossary contains a list of definitions. In this glossary, we can learn that architecture is the practice of designing buildings. In what section would you look to find a chapter about architecture? The table of contents, the index, or the glossary? You would find a chapter about architecture in the table of contents. The table of contents is located in the front of the book. It lists the names of the chapters and the page numbers where each chapter begins. This table of contents says that architecture is covered in Chapter 3. In what section would you expect to find a listing of all the pages where architecture is mentioned? The table of contents, the index, or the glossary? You would find the pages where the word architecture is used in the index. The index is located at the end of a book. It's a list of words along with the page numbers on which those words can be found. By looking in this index, we can see that the word architecture is also used on pages other than the architecture chapter. Knowing the parts of a book can help you figure out where to look for information. The parts of a book include the table of contents, the index, and the glossary. Open your history book and scan any page. When you find a word you don't understand, look it up in the glossary.
Thank you for paying attention. If you have any questions, please ask. Enjoy the rest of your day.